This flowchart helps taxpayer determine their filing status. Were you married on the last day of the tax year? Note, answer no to this question if, on the last day of the tax year, you were legally separated from your spouse under a divorce or separate maintenance decree. Also, answer no for individuals who have entered into a registered domestic partnership, civil union, or other similar relationship that is not called a marriage under state or foreign law. Answer yes, if taxpayer is married regardless of where the spouse lives. You are considered unmarried for head of household purposes if your spouse was non-resident at any time during the year, and you do not choose to treat your non-resident spouse as a resident alien. However, spouse is not a qualifying person for head of household purposes. You must have another qualifying person qualifying you to file as head of household. See qualifying person qualify you for head of household, located in digital download of you login page of qsbookkeeping.com and volunteeraccountant.org, and meet other tests to be eligible to file as a head of household. You are considered married if you choose to treat your non-resident alien spouse as a resident alien. If you were married on the last day of the year, then, did you and your spouse live apart all of the last 6 months of the year? Note, your spouse is considered to live in your home, even if he or she is temporarily absent due to illness, education, business, vacation, military service, or incarceration. If you and your spouse did not live apart all of the last 6 months of the year, then your filing status is married filing jointly or married filing separately. Otherwise, do all of following conditions apply? You file separate return from your spouse. You paid more than half the cost of keeping up your home for the required period of time. Note, cost of upkeep expenses include as a rent, mortgage interest, real estate taxes, insurance on the home, repairs, utilities, and food eaten in the home. Under proposed regulation, a taxpayer may treat home's fair market value as a cost of maintaining a household instead of the sum of payments for mortgage interest, property taxes, and insurance. C. Cost of keeping up a home worksheet located in the digital download section of your login page on qsbookkeeping.com or volunteeraccountant.org. Your home is main home for your child, stepchild, or foster child for more than half the year. Note, if the child dead or born in tax year, he or she is considered to live in your home for half the year. A grandchild does not meet this test. You claim the child as a dependent unless the child's other parent claims him or her under Rules 4, children of divorced or separated parents, or parents who live apart. Seats children of divorced or separated parents who live apart, located in your login page under digital download section of qsbookkeeping.com or volunteeraccountant.org. If any of the condition mentioned above are false, then your filing status is married filing jointly or married filing separately. Otherwise, your filing status is head of household. Note, there may be multiple filing statuses. For example, 2 families filing head of household or 1 family filing married filing jointly, and another head of household in shared living quarters if each household meets their determined filing requirements. Were you not married on the last day of the tax year and your spouse died during the year? Then, your filing status is married filing jointly and married filing separately. Note, your spouse died during the year, you are considered married for the whole tax year for filing status purposes. If you did not remarry before the end of the tax year, you can file joint return for yourself and your deceased spouse. If you remarried before the end of the tax year, you can file a joint return with your new spouse. In that case, your deceased spouse's filing status is married filing separately for that year. If you were not married on the last day of the year and your spouse did not die during the year, then Do all of the following conditions apply? Your spouse died in 2022 or 2023, and you did not remarry before the end of 2024. In the year of death, you were entitled to file a joint return with your spouse. You paid more than half the cost of keeping up your home for the required period of time. See Cost of Keeping Up a Home worksheet to determine the cost of keeping up a home, which is located in your login page under Digital Download section of qsbookkeeping.com or volunteeraccountant.org. Your son or daughter, but not your foster child or stepchild, lived in your home all year. Note if the child born or died in the tax year, he or she considered to live with you more than half the year, or temporary absences during the tax year. However, if the qualifying person is your dependent parent and the dependent parent does not live with you, see who is qualifying person qualifying you to file as a head of household in your login page, under Digital Download section of qsbookkeeping.com or volunteeraccountant.org. If the person is your dependent, but he or she does not meet the gross income test or does not meet the joint return test, or that you may be claimed as a dependent by another taxpayer. This person is not your grandchild or foster child, then. Your filing status is qualifying surviving spouse. Otherwise, do both of the following conditions apply? You paid more than half of the cost of keeping your home for the tax year. A qualifying person lived with you in your home for more than half the year. If these two conditions are false, then your filing status should be single. Otherwise, your filing status should be head of household.